I'm slicker than 1,000 baby oil bottles. If you ask him, did he do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm popping models. If you Hey, welcome to the No Cap Zone. I'm your host, as always, APT Songs. Guys, can we talk about Rihanna and Cardi B for a second? So Rihanna recently did an article with Bazaar magazine where in the course of her interview, she talks about potentially dropping new music. And back in October, Cardi B also dropped an article with Billboard magazine where she talked about how she is on the verge of releasing a whole new body of work. And I'm just here to tell everyone out there, this is never going to happen. Now, I hope that this video ages poorly because I want them to release new stuff. I'm a big fan of Rihanna and I'm a big fan of Cardi B's music. And I think that their musical output has added much to the culture of both pop and of hip hop. And so I would love to hear brand new tunes and specifically a whole body of work from each of these artists. But given how long it's been with Rihanna, it's been like 9 years now since her 2016 album Anti, and it's been since 2018 from Cardi B's debut, only one album. She has some mixtapes, but the debut album, Invasion of Privacy, in 2018, and we are still sitting here on our hands with bated breath, hoping they're gonna put out an album. And they keep getting our hopes up, and today I wanna talk about what they've said and why they've said it and why I feel these albums are never going to come out. So, let's start with Rihanna. So she recently did an interview with Bazaar magazine and they're asking her about her kids and her family life and her empire. And in the course of that, they start talking about her music. There's a portion of the article where they say her time with her music, with listening to her previous album Anti, reinforced where she wants to take it next. Quote, I think music is my freedom. I just came to that realization. I just cracked the code on what I really want to do for my next body of work. I'm actually feeling really good about this. I know I've kept saying this over the years. Yes, you can look back on multiple interviews over the last 9 years where there's been stops, there's been starts. Oh, I'm in the studio. Oh, I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, I almost got it just right. Oh, I'm in the studio all the time. I'm just piecing stuff together. It's been 9 years, Rihanna. You could have put out like at least 2 or 3 albums by now. You've chosen not to. So then the article says, with the new music, there's no genre now. That's why I waited. Sure. Every time I was just like, no, it's not me. It's not right. It's not matching my growth. It's not matching my evolution. I can't do this. I can't stand by this. Blah, blah, blah. It has to matter. It has to work. It's got to be new stuff. And then she says, after waiting 8 years, you might as well just wait some more. First of all, it's been 9 years. Second of all, what are you talking about? Like, I get it if she thinks like the public at large is gonna be extremely judgmental about new stuff she puts out. And hey, to be fair, she did release a single for the Black Panther 2 soundtrack called Lift Me Up. Lift Me Up, which I was not a fan of. I was like, I waited, 7 or 8 years for that song? Why did we wait for a slower song when your bag is doing up-tempo stuff that people can dance to? But again, you apparently don't have a genre now, so even with that, can we hear what some of this non-genre music sounds like? Apparently not. So then she continues on and says, she's feeling really optimistic. This feels right. It feels like it digs right into where I need it to be, and I want this. This body needs to come out and I'm ready to go there. This is becoming my new freedom because when I'm in the studio, I know that my time away from my kids is to blossom something that hasn't been watered in 8 years. Blah, 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 blah. So basically she's saying all this stuff saying she's cracked the code. She's figured it out. Yay, new music. She's been saying that for 9 years now. And this feels like one of those Charlie Brown and Lucy holding the football scenarios where the football is the music. Hey, it's right here. I swear it's coming. And then as soon as we get close enough to it, oh, sorry, took it away. It's not really there. My bad. Sorry, it's not ready yet. And we've been listening to that on and on and on and on. And frankly, it's starting to get a little frustrating. Then we get to Cardi B, right? So Cardi B's been in the same boat. Her Invasion of Privacy album was a massive debut. It sold millions and millions of records, and it also spawned a bunch of #1 singles from it that are still playing to this day. You had Bodak Yellow, you have I Like It Like That. Like, you had some really stellar stuff, right? And then on top of that, she's actually been teasing stuff coming out whereby she would legitimately put out a single single that she was like, hey, this single is gonna be the thing that teases this album coming up. Like WAP came out, the song Up came out, and these were #1 hits for Cardi that could have actually started a music cycle that led towards her releasing her actual album. And then time after time, we get the same excuse: something's come up, or I'm starting over again, or I got pregnant, so I can't do it now, to all these other excuses, right? So in October of 2024, she did an interview with Billboard. And here's what she said at the time. Cardi B is taking care of some business with a 9-day trip to Los Angeles. She hopped on a plan to record on the West Coast, which includes tending to her long-awaited sophomore LP. Quote, I'm also in LA because I have to do something pertaining to the album. I know you guys are gonna be like, what the F, B? But it's something that's gonna be done really effing quick. It's gonna just be a 1-2. I did it when I was pregnant and nothing came out how I wanted it to come out, so we gotta go do it again. She continues and says, it's gonna be amazing and unique because everything I do, it's gotta be amazing and unique. I'm sorry for the delay. It's not gonna be a crazy delay. It's gonna come out amazing. I'm gonna be out there for 9 days. Now, she said that back when she recorded WAP, back when she recorded Up. She put out a song called Hot-ish, which I think had like Kanye and somebody else on it. And then she put out the bongo song with Megan Thee Stallion like last year. She's put out so many singles over the last 6 and 7 years. I literally have a whole mix on my phone here on Apple Music just of songs that Cardi B has recorded since Invasion of Privacy came out. Like, she's literally already put out an album's worth of music, and we still have no album. So why is it that Rihanna and Cardi B can't seem to actually put out a full-on album? Well, I think many of their reasons are the same, and there also are a few differences. But either way, these excuses result in us not being able to hear new music. With Rihanna, we gotta start off with the fact that she has built an empire courtesy of her brand Fenty. She's got makeup out, and now she's got clothing and lingerie out, and she's made over $1 billion having this business. Music does not bring in the same amount of money as clothing and makeup does, unless you're a Taylor Swift, but that's an anomaly. That is not the norm. Usually, most artists have to venture into other things, and they find that those other things are more lucrative and also take away their time from being able to do their first love, music. Secondly, she got kids. She has 3 kids, and she has a husband or baby daddy in A$AP Rocky, whereby when she's not building up those billions in her empire, she wants to be able to be home, to spend time with the kids and spend time with her significant other. And honestly, I think that's admirable. We only get one life, so if you have a choice between I'm gonna leave my kids for a year and tour on this new album versus I wanna see my kids grow up and spend time with the person that I love, then I could see how music of those things would be the most easy to sacrifice. The third reason, creative perfectionism, because she has talked nonstop about how, but this album's gotta be perfect, and I've been away for so long, I can't just put out anything. But that's true of almost like every artist. But most artists understand that, hey, at the end of the day, you can only put out what you feel as though is the best you can possibly do, but it doesn't have to be perfect, you know? There are plenty of albums that I like GNX, many rap albums that I've listened to over the years that I'm fans of, Eminem stuff, whereby it's like, I can hear those albums and say cohesively, I enjoy this overall, but there's still a few songs that I would skip by. And that's true of almost any album. An artist trying to think, I'm going to make the perfect album where there's no skips, it's admirable, but everybody's music taste is different. And so even on one album, if you put out 10 tracks, if I like 8 of them, they should consider that a win. But some people might only like 6 songs and still be like, but I like this album overall. I'm just glad I have some stuff on this album that I like. And what about Cardi? Why isn't Cardi putting new music out? First off, this woman has had so many distractions and so much drama going on in her life with her baby daddy and ex-husband now Offset. They had 3 kids, but in the midst of that, she and him are going through relationship turmoil with him constantly cheating on her. And let's be real, Cardi is her own firecracker. I can imagine she also was adding too much of the chaos that was happening in her home. So between constantly dropping babies and constantly dropping drama, what she wasn't able to drop was a fire second album. Secondly, you got the hit or miss singles. Like I said, she had some bangers that came out from time to time that went to #1, but she's also dropped a lot of stinkers that came and went. Like they came out one week and then the next week, hey, where'd you go? You're gone. And they weren't just really vibing with the public. But I think also at some point, the public got tired of her putting out new songs that were picking up a little bit of traction and then following it up with nothing else album related, let alone an actual album. Which I feel also adds to a third reason for Cardi. She has a major fear of having the sophomore slump. There are a lot of new artists that come out that had that really fire first album, and then the second album comes out and it doesn't do as well. Even if it only sells like half as much, it's seen as less than and a failure. And so I think Cardi has that same fear of putting out anything that's not gonna be a body of work that grabs the public at large like her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, did. So we know at this point, Rihanna and Cardi B, they're probably not dropping this year. They're probably not dropping the year after this. Heck, if they drop within the next 3 or 4 years, I would be very, very surprised. And again, I'm all for this video aging poorly. But if they're not going to release albums, why do they keep telling us that an album is forthcoming? In this industry, they have built their names and their brand off of their music. You know, even though they're doing makeup stuff, they're doing commercials for various products, the reality is part of their appeal is that they are in fact musicians. And so there's always a chance that if the public stops associating them with being in the musical realm, it could potentially affect some of their other things. And that's why they keep every so often coming out and saying, no, 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 guys, I'm still a musician. I still do music stuff. Hey, look, I'm Rihanna. I'm doing the Super Bowl because I still do music. Hey, I'm Cardi. I'm dropping a random ass single with some artists you've never heard of because that makes me still relevant with the kids. So I'm gonna keep doing that. But they do that in order to keep themselves relevant. Anytime they come out and say, hey guys, I'm thinking of new music, you know what happens? A new article drops, a new magazine article, a new interview, and they're right back in the public's collective conscious again. It's a strategy that allows them to keep their names out there and avoid being irrelevant. Also, both of these women know that they have a variety of fans out there that are waiting for them to drop anything. And there's a fear that disappointing those fans in particular, again, it could hurt their brand and it could hurt their bottom line if they lose out on fans of theirs that are strictly fans of them for the music and not for the other things that they're doing, but are willing to buy into the things that they're doing as long as they're associated with music. And also, another reality, these women don't actually need music anymore. Like I said, music itself pays very, very little in comparison to the other things that they're working on. So yeah, Rihanna could make X amount of money, a couple of $100,000 or even $1 million or so doing a show, but she's making more than that a day off of her businesses. Cardi is advertising everything out there known to man, and so yeah, she doesn't have to rely on music because she's getting checks from TV shows she's done, getting checks from brands that she's with, and so these things allow these women to either stay home and do the things that they want to do, or it allows them to put their focus on other things that they feel is more important. And the work of being an artist, of having to be in the studio and create songs and record them again, and then get them tested to see who's gonna actually like them, and then putting them out, and then hoping that somebody's gonna like that enough to wanna buy then a whole body of work of yours where you might possibly profit. That's a lot of time, effort, energy that you gotta put in the hopes that somewhere down the line, this music you're putting out will pay off. They're doing things now that pay them off a lot quicker. So again, it's no wonder why they've stepped away from music, but at the same time, they continue to tease us as if it's going to actually come out. All this to say, guys, it's a pipe dream. As much as I would love for these ladies to put out some new stuff, I'm not holding my breath because I'd end up looking like a Smurf, and unless I'm getting a Smurf soundtrack featuring Rihanna, I don't wanna look that color. So suffice to say, guys, yes, they're gonna keep coming out here every so often and teasing us and saying, oh no, I'm in the studio, music's coming, blah, 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 blah. The chances of that happening are slimmer than Diddy not wanting to use baby oil anymore. By the way, you get my new single, 1,000 Baby Oil Bottles, on streaming services, on all platforms. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Do you think that Rihanna and Cardi B are gonna actually at some point release a whole body of work by way of a new album? Or are you think they're just destined to continue to tease us, maybe drop a single here or there, and continue to stick with their empires? Let me know in the comments down below. And by the way, guys, if you have any topics you want me to cover on one of these shows, you can write to me at aptsongs@hotmail.com. You can leave a comment, or you can just send me articles or videos of things you want me to react to or talk about. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the No Cap Zone. I'm APT Songs, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. I'm slicker than 1,000 baby oil bottles. If you ask him, did he do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm popping models. If you see me on the mic, you know I go at it full throttle. If you hate on me today, then you gon' really hate tomorrow. I'm slicker than 1,000 baby oil bottles. If you ask him, did he do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm popping models. If you see me on the mic, you know I go at it full throttle. If you hate on me